This is Russ. I'm back out on the road again. What are we riding today? Yeah, this is the Wired Cruiser. Wired Cruiser. Yeah, I gotta take this bike out again, right? Hey, if you didn't see the Wired Cruiser review, take a look at that one. I'll probably have it set up so you can see it as a link at the tail end of the video. But if not, just go search for Wired Cruiser under the Russ is Right channel and you'll find it. So what are we doing today? Well, I just thought I'd go out for a quick ride. Nowhere special going, of course. We're just gonna ride the streets. I think with this cruiser, this is more of a street vehicle for me. I don't see myself really wanting to take this on the forest preserve trails that only do like 15 miles per hour. So yeah, we're not going to do that. And so I'm doing a little bit of pedaling right now. I'm gonna keep ourselves within reason. It's a windy day today. Yeah, it's gonna be extremely windy. Let me get into this lane here. We're gonna take a left turn here. Stick my arm out there, let the people know that I'm turning from behind. And let's just turn here. So, yeah, we're not going to go super fast unless we absolutely have to. Yeah, let's turn here. Let's go down to the street we normally do. Turn a little bit early there. So I was thinking about the cruiser, and I said that, you know, if I take it on the trails or the forest preserves or the bike paths, yeah, it's a little big of a bike. I think people would definitely take a look at it and say, huh, is this guy, should he be on this path or not? I mean, really, I have other bikes that are just as large, but every time I've taken a larger bike out on something like that, I always get these looks. It's almost like, what are you doing on this path? That type of look, you know? So, yeah, so I'm thinking this is going to be more of one that I would use streets on. But again, as you know, I ride mostly on the street anyway, so it's not a real big deal to me. Now, I was looking at the weather forecast, and they did say that today would be extremely windy. I wonder if that has something to do with the hurricanes down in Florida. I mean, we're all the way up here in Illinois, but is that somehow affecting our weather too? It's possible. You know, I keep thinking of the folks out in Florida, and I know a number of my viewers are out there. Hope you guys are staying safe out there. Yeah, hurricane is not a fun thing to go through. I mean, even the winds that we have here in Chicago, when it's extremely windy, it's just not fun to ride in. But I could just imagine, you know, what did they say, those hurricane things, 130 miles per hour? Come on, that is just unbelievable. But it seems to be something that happens all the time in that general area. So I guess you just got to learn to deal with it. But still, man, that's tough. Feel for you guys. All right, so as far as the cruiser is concerned, we're at about 93% on the battery. I charged it up a little bit from the last time I took it, which is when I did the review. And I don't think I had a full maximum green LED on the chargers, but I had to go do some stuff, so I unplugged it. I don't leave the chargers plugged in when I'm not around. If I have to step away or whatever, I unplug those chargers. I had to leave the house. Unfortunately, I had to do some things, so didn't get a full charge. And then this morning when I said, yeah, which bike are we taking? I said, well, it's going to have to be the Wired Cruiser. And then I thought about it. I go, yeah, it's not 100%, but I don't think it really matters that much. There's so much range between two batteries that it should be fine. Let me see if I can set this cruise control. I can't remember how to do it. Let me see if I can do it right here. There we go. So when your throttle has been held down for, I don't know how long, seconds, 5 to 8 seconds, I don't know, whatever it is. When that happens and you hold down them and you hold down the negative button on your pedal assist controller. If you hold that down, I'll let this lady go here or whatever. I'm going to stop because we've got too many cars going on here. Let them go. Hold on a second here. Okay, sorry about that. Had to send a text message out. Kind of took my attention away and messed up my train of thought again. Yeah, I don't have a very large memory for things. You remember that? So I think we were talking about cruise control. Okay, let's go back to cruise control. Yeah, if you hold down the half twist throttle for X amount of seconds, I don't know what it is, 5, 8 seconds, I don't know, whatever it is, then hold the minus button on your pedal assist level, it'll engage the cruise control. Now to cancel the cruise control, either start pedaling again, or they got a funeral going on here. I think they're doing a drive-by. Yeah, sometimes the funerals will do that. They'll drive by neighborhoods where the deceased used to live. I think that's what it is. I've never seen them do that. Oh, you know what it could be? There is a Catholic church that we passed. It's possible that they may have come from there. I don't know. Don't know. But it's a long funeral procession here. So anyway, so to cancel the cruise control, what you do is you either throttle again, hit the brakes, tap the brakes that is, or start pedaling. That'll cancel cruise control. And then you could set it again the same way as we just talked about. You know, just hold the throttle down for a certain amount of time, and then hold the minus button. So cruise control on this bike does not automatically set. Some of my other bikes, for instance, like the magicycles, if you hold it down for, I don't know, 8 seconds and don't do anything but hold it down, it will automatically set the cruise control. And some people didn't like that, so they have an option in the magicycle menu where you can actually turn off the cruise control on some bikes, not all the bikes. Earlier bikes did not have that. Later bikes had that feature. But on this one, you could turn on or turn off the cruise control option in the advanced functions. And then once you turn it on, then you set it the way we just talked about. Okay, so it will never set unless you want it to set, because you've got to do the minus button on the pedal assist. You got to hold that down while you're holding down the throttle. So, yeah, I think that's probably in the long run probably better for most people. I've gotten used to the magicycle way because that's basically what I've been doing all this time. But yeah, it'll work out for people. There is a minimum speed you have to be going at too. If you're not doing a certain speed, I think it's like 4 kilometers or 5 kilometers, whatever that relates to in terms of miles per hour. You got to have at least that in order for the cruise control to even have a possibility to engage. So you can't be doing like 1 mile an hour in cruise control. It doesn't happen. All right, what are these guys doing now? Yeah, they're always working on this street. All right, let's move over to the side here. Yeah, they've been working on this street for a while. But it looks like the street itself is paved and ready to go, but all the stuff on the side is still being worked on. And it looks like they're fixing people's driveways as well, the apron part of the driveway. All right, so anyways, with the wind blowing on me, I have my long sleeves on. But again, the long sleeves really don't offer a whole lot of wind protection. It's a very thin material. It's really UV rated. That's basically what it's for, is to cut down the UV on you. But I think I'm gonna have to get another sweatshirt. You know, I was using that Fisherman's Life sweatshirt for all these years. Remember that thing? Yeah, my daughter and son-in-law bought that for me. It's got a hood and everything. The hood wasn't so bad because it kind of keeps the draft off your neck when you're going riding. But there's times where I don't really need that hood. So I think maybe just a standard sweatshirt would be something else I need to get. Yeah, I think it's time to actually start getting some clothes now. The clothes are kind of hanging on me at this point. I'm not looking too good in them. I've been holding off, as you know, because I lost the weight, but I'm still trying to lose more weight. And then my hesitancy is I don't want to spend on clothing only to find out that I have to get some new clothing after that if I lose any more weight. So where are we at currently? Well, we're at 221 pounds down. Pretty confident in saying that figure at this point because I think for the last week or so it's been 221. So I think it's there to stay. Sometimes when I talk about the weight, it kind of goes up and down 2 pounds one way or the other, right? But the 221 has been pretty consistent for the last week. So I think that is the current weight. The goal, again, is to try to hit 200. Now, I don't know whether I can hit 200 by the end of the year, but that's what I'm striving for. Realistically, I usually turn there, but that's okay. Let's go up to the next street. Realistically, can I do it by end of December? I mean, here it is. Here it is in September right now. It's coming up to October. I think by the time you see this video, it'll be October already. Yeah, it'll be October because I'm releasing the Wired Cruiser video review on October 1st. This one will probably be October 3rd, did you see? So, yeah. It's already October, so really October, November, December. I've got basically 3 months to lose another 21 pounds. Is that possible? What do you think? I guess it technically is possible. I don't see why it wouldn't be, but I mean, I've already lost 47 pounds already. I should be hearing a lot of wind now, I think. I've already lost 47 pounds, so if I need to lose another 21, that brings us to 62 pounds down in a period of about 1 year. I guess it's possible. I mean, you hear people who lose 100 pounds, right, in a year. It's possible. It's just a matter of how you do your diet. So, yeah, let's talk a little bit about the diet. I mean, the bike is the bike. Let's just talk about some of the other stuff too. And then we'll get back to talking about the bike. I kept thinking about the things that I've been eating and how I ended up losing this 47 pounds. And I tell you, I wasn't really eating smartly, I don't think. But it was effective. let's say that. I started out eating salads mostly. And the salads were bought from Costco. They were bought where I just simply got romaine lettuce, made my own salads. But, sometimes I'll get the pre-done spring mix from Costco, which would be arugula and a whole bunch of other things they put in there. And so I'd done that. And then the dressing, I started out doing olive oil and vinegar, and I hated the stuff, and I found out that the olive oil actually has a lot of calories, although supposedly it's good for you. I said, forget it, it's not going to lose me to weight, I'm not doing it. So I've been taking mostly Kraft Catalina Light. Catalina is kind of tomato based, I think. And then the light, of course, makes the calorie count, I think something like 30 calories per tablespoon, something like that. Much better than what olive oil is per tablespoon. I think olive oil, what is that, like 110, 120, something like that? I mean, it's a huge difference. So I went with that. I'll throw in some hard-boiled eggs sometimes, and I'll usually sprinkle on some Parmesan cheese. So anyways, I was eating salads, and then I was eating chicken as well. This would be Costco rotisserie chicken. Over time, I got kind of lazy. Didn't want to make the salads anymore, so I was just eating chicken. Yeah, but it wasn't the only thing I was eating. I would go to Costco almost daily, which is not good. And as you know, I'd get a hot dog and a slice of cheese pizza. Mrs. Wright said, well, you should be doing that. So she says, if you're going to do it, then pick the pizza over the hot dog. Don't do both. So lately I've just been doing the cheese pizza, which is about 700 calories or so. But of course it adds carbs, but I don't think the carbs has really affected me all that much. I mean, you have to have some carbs, and really it is the only carbs that I have for the day. But there's something like 70 or 80 calories in a slice of Costco pizza. 70 or 80 carbs. Sorry about that, that's a garbage truck going by. 70 or 80 grams of carbs, so it's quite a bit in one shot. And so I do that, and then I do a Diet Pepsi, and I usually get a refill too. So the Diet Pepsi doesn't spike my blood sugars, but it's not good for you in the long run anyway. I've got to learn to cut that back. But really, if you think about it, most of my diet has been stuff from Costco, whether it's food court stuff or whether it's salads or rotisserie chicken, hot dog, pizza. Yeah, Costco should give me money for being able to tell people that I've lost weight on Costco product. Yeah, really. I think most of everything was from Costco, except for the salad dressing. Okay, sometimes I also have slices of American cheese, imitation American cheese at that, which is cheaper. I get that at Aldi's. You guys know what Aldi's is. That's not good for you either. None of this stuff is good for me, I tell you. It's terrible. Yeah, terrible diet. Don't follow my diet. But basically that's all I've been eating for the last, I don't know, since November, December or so of last year, something like that. And then of course we went serious about it after we found out about the diabetes. So in January we went real serious about everything. So yeah, down 47 pounds eating Costco products. I mean, can we just keep eating Costco products and lose weight? I don't know, maybe. We'll see. The thing is, though, I have this weird ability to keep eating the same things over and over, whereas I know a lot of people can't do that. I was at the grocery store today, okay, and I was going there to buy some eggs. They had like, let me speed up, this guy behind me is kind of on my tail. Just blow him away. That's the one benefit of this bike. When you have to get out of a jam like that, you can do it. So I went to the grocery store today to buy some jumbo eggs for $1.99. Eggs have gone up in price, but $1.99 for jumbo eggs is pretty good at this point. So I bought 3 dozens of that. That's the limit. And then as I was getting to the egg section, which is all, of course, all the way in the back of the store, I'm walking through. I'm going through the aisle to get through there, and I'm looking at all the stuff that's there, and I said, you know what? I haven't eaten anything other than the things I've told you, which means everything in this store, in those aisles, I can't touch. Yeah, I mean, I could if I wanted to mess up my blood sugars and the like. But everything else has either carbs or sugars or whatever. I said, wow, I've cut a lot of stuff out of my diet. Yeah, quite a bit. So how is the A1C? Well, I went to went for a follow-up visit at the doctor's office. I never get to see the doctor, by the way. I've said this before. All I get to see is the nurse practitioner. All right, I'm going to speed up a little here. All I get to see is the nurse practitioner, and we did an A1C test on my blood sugars, and it came back at 6.0. Now that's still considered elevated. It's higher than it should be, but that's still better than it was. Remember, we started out at like 13.2, something like that. And then after a couple of months, it dropped down to 6.3. And now we're down to 6.0. So it is dropping. However, the blood pressure hasn't really been doing that much better than it was from the start. And they gave me a thing called losartan. It was a fairly low dosage of it, so rather than giving me more of the losartan, they added another medication to me. I don't recall the name of it. If I remember, I'll put a graphic up so you can remember, see what it is. But again, it's a smaller dosage of this stuff. And I'm supposed to take that in addition to the losartan once in the morning. So she said, let's see what happens with that. Do both of them at the same time. See if that reduces any. Man, the wind is really getting stronger here. I think eventually I'm going to have to turn around, come back, go back. So I bought a new blood pressure cuff because, as I mentioned way back before, I don't trust the ones that I have. I have two of them, and I don't trust those, and I don't trust the watch reading either. So I said, I've got to just buy a decent one. So I asked the nurse practitioner, what brand do you suggest I get? She recommended, let's turn here. She recommended I buy Amran, and I know a number of you guys have mentioned that to me too. She said that is probably the #1 recommended brand from the doctors. So I bought the Series 7. So if you're an Amran blood pressure cuff user, put a comment, let me know how you feel that is, and if you have a Series 7, let me know how that worked out for you as well. So when I took the first reading, I got it on Walmart.com, by the way. When I took the first reading, we were at 130/80, something like that, which of course is still considered high, right? And then I took it again yesterday, and it dropped down to 127/79, something like that. So today I took the new medication along with the losartan, and then I measured the blood pressure a little bit later, several hours later, and it was down to 125/72, something like that. So I guess overall, is it working, or is it just a fluke that I had a interesting reading that went down a little bit? Don't know. We'll know over time as I take more readings. All right, we're gonna take a right here, just like this guy. Yeah, that's gonna bring me to Rand Road. I don't want to be on Rand Road. Let's see if it drops me off at another street I can turn on or something. So I just ran over a flattened squirrel. I just looked at it and I said, uh-oh, but I didn't want to swerve. Yeah, that squirrel was so flattened out, I didn't even feel him, but I could see the outline of him. All right, I can turn here and get away from that. Up ahead would have been Rand Road. Let's get away from that. So yeah, we'll see if that improves over time or not. But I don't want to be taking additional medication, because really, if you think about it, I'd rather take a larger dosage of losartan, because the copay means now I got to pay copay for an additional drug, right? Copay is typically about $8 every time you get something. She only gave me 30 pills. She wants to try it out and see how it works. I don't know. I don't know how they make these decisions, but we'll see what happens with it. So that's my health updates. All right, let's talk about the bike again. I came here for bike riding, right? Didn't come here to hear all my health issues. But I gotta throw it in there somewhere, so there you go. Well, with all this wind, I guess I'm kind of glad I'm on a heavier bike, because I can feel the wind pushing me. Yeah, it's definitely pushing me. So I think the lighter weight the bike is, the more I'm going to be pushed. This is a rather heavy bike, but still, even so, it's pushing you around. I mean, even when you're in the car, sometimes you can feel the wind pushing you. Imagine what it does on a bike, right? All right, let's see. Is anyone coming here? Nope. So we're gonna go. Yeah, some of these houses are pretty big. The one to my left was pretty huge. It looks like a castle. No, I'm not kidding. That thing actually looked like a castle. It's got rounded fronts and everything, like almost like I don't know. I don't know what you call it, but it looks like a castle. Yeah, some of the houses out here have been redone. You know, obviously the neighborhoods are older, and then all of a sudden you have a house that, you know, is just like totally different from everybody else's house. So they obviously tore down whatever was there and built a new house on it. All right, so I'm currently at 86%. And it's not a problem. You know, we got enough range to go. But, you know, speaking about safety on this bike, I mentioned that although you can do up to 40 miles or so per hour on this bike, I only intend to do that if I have to. Like that one time just now where I had a guy on my tail. I had to get away from him, so I sped up and got out of there. But otherwise, you'll see me doing my standard rides. And right now we're doing 23 miles an hour, which is typically what I would do. I'm going to set the cruise control here. I'm not pedaling at this moment. So since I figure if I'm throttling, I might as well just cruise control it. Why hold down that thing? Give your thumb a rest. No, the Cruiser feels really good. It rides really well. It maneuvers fairly well for a large bike. I think this one's going to be a keeper for a while. Yep. Getting on and off the Cruiser is pretty easy, although it's a higher step than some of the other step-through bikes. I can still step through it. Just have to lift your leg up a little bit higher. And yeah, hopping off the bike here, you know, while we're stopped, I don't have to worry about a top bar hitting me in areas I don't want to be hit. So yeah, I've gotten used to the step-through design, and I know that, you know, once you hop off, there's nothing between your legs to hold it up. You have to hold on to the handlebar. Otherwise, the bike will just flop over to one side or the other. So yeah, I've gotten used to it. And I hold on to the handbrake when I'm just before I'm starting, just so that the bike is not rolling when I start. And I usually throttle to get started. Even if I plan to pedal, I'll throttle to get started. My wife does the same thing. She throttles only to get started, then she pedals forever, you know that. All right, so we throttle up, and then I can start pedaling. Or I can just throttle. So actually, for me, throttling through the intersection is easier because it gets you through the intersection faster. I don't want to be hanging out at an intersection. I want to get out of there as fast as I can. But again, with the Cruiser, you got to be careful because this thing, if you hit that throttle hard, it'll go hard. You know, it'll really take off on you if you're not careful. So yeah, I'm liking this bike a lot. Thanks to you guys for recommending Wired to give me a bike to review. Thanks to Wired for giving me the bike to review. And you know, of course, I get to hang on to the bike after it's all done. I'm going to pass through here. A lot of times when I see everyone stop, they usually wait for me to go, even though it's not technically my turn to go. And if I just hesitate anywhere, they'll just hold up everybody, so I just usually go. We do things a little different here. I don't know how it is in other states, but like I mentioned when I was out in California, these guys were telling me if you blasted through the stop signs the way you do, you would definitely get a ticket. Well, here in Illinois, we're not supposed to do that, but pretty much everyone does, and very few of them seem to get tickets. I think as long as they see that you're slowing down and you've looked, and there's no real cars or anything that's going to be in your way, cops just turn a blind eye. But the state of Illinois does state you have to follow all signs. But you know, that's hard for a bike rider, as you know. Those who've ridden bikes for a while understand that, you know, hopping on and off constantly at a stop sign is kind of a pain. Better to do a roll through. I mean, even if it's a slow roll through, it's better than stopping altogether and waiting a few seconds before you go. I mean, that's pretty hard to deal with. I mean, if a cop were to give you a ticket, like let's say I was going this speed, 5 miles an hour, and then I sped up and went through, and he gave me a ticket for 5 miles an hour passing a stop sign, I think that would be only because he wanted to write a ticket, not that he had to write the ticket. And there's cops that'll do that, by the way. You know, they have a bad day, I'm giving everyone a ticket. Everyone I see gets a ticket. Yeah, there are good cops and there are bad cops, right? So most of the cops I've seen are pretty good, but I have run into a few that are a little power hungry. They'll push their power on you, you know. Whatever. I do know from talking to other law enforcement officials, because I come from a law enforcement background as well, as you know. They will tell me that there are some guys that really do push their power. And they know it, but they do it, those guys. There's good apples and bad apples and everything, right? You just don't want to run into the bad apple guy. All right, so easy ride today. I actually do enjoy riding on the streets. I have to tell you that. I have more fun riding on the streets than the bike paths. I know some of you guys prefer to be on the bike paths, but I just feel like I'm going somewhere. I'm getting somewhere when I'm on the streets. The only problem, of course, is dealing with cars and some. Whoops! Probably should have turned there. Oh, I'll keep going. Dealing with the cars and the like. Some cars, you know, they just don't. They don't play fair when bike riders are around. I mean, they won't give you space and all that stuff. Those are the guys you got to watch out for. But for the most part in this area, I think a lot of the drivers, you know, I wouldn't say they watch out for the bike riders. They don't want to be the guy that hits a bike rider. I think that's more the case. They don't want to be the guy that actually hits somebody because, first off, it's not good. But secondly, it doesn't look good for them, right? It's like, why didn't you pay more attention, you know? You don't want to be that guy. Even if you tap the guy. I told the story a long time ago. I'll tell it again for the new guys. Yeah, my brother got hit by a car when he was younger. I don't know how old he was, but he was in grade school too. Yeah, maybe he was 8th grade. I have no idea, something like that. And he was at this stop sign here. He was crossing the stop sign, and the lady stopped her car here at the stop sign, and then looked to the left probably and started turning right. And as she's turning right, of course, she hits my brother. My sister was with her on her bike. So she knocks him over and bends the fork of the bike. She's all distraught that she had hit a bike and hit a kid, basically turning right into him. Yeah, my brother's leg got scratched up a little bit, but he told her he was okay. But she says, "Look, give me your name and the phone number. I'm gonna call your parents and make it right for you." So he goes home, tells my dad, tells me, and then sure enough, the lady calls up and she says, "I would like to buy him a new bike since I damaged his bike." And my dad said, "You know, it's an old bike. We got it at the Chicago police auction for like $20. It's okay, you know." Not $20 back then, I guess it's a lot of money. But she says, no. She says, "It's not okay. I'm going to buy him a new bike. Go to a bike shop, find the exact same model, buy him a new one." So it was a XWing 3-speed commuter-style bike. So my dad went to the bike shop, had the bike shop owner write the receipt that he had bought the bike I think it was about $100 and something for it. And the lady sent my dad a check. Yeah, she paid for him for he got a new bike. It was a yellow bike, yellow commuter style 3-speed bike. I don't know what he ever did with that, but it was a nice bike. It was brand new. I go, man, you're pretty lucky. He got a XWing bike out of it. He did have a XWing bike, okay, what the lady knocked over, but it was, you know, it was a $20 stolen bike, essentially. You got it at the police auction, but nobody claims the property. The police department has to clear the property out, otherwise they have a locker full of odds and ends, and there were tons of bikes. I got my first bike that way too. It was a Huffy, I don't know what the model number was, but it was the one with the banana seat, and then I put a sissy bar in the back of it. Yeah, I was a kid, you know. Had to have that. Let's pass through here. Okay, I was going through, but the car didn't see me. He started moving forward, so I hit the brakes. Then he stopped. So anyway, that was my brother's first good bike. I don't think he's ever bought another bike since that point. He's not like me. He didn't ride his bike as much as I did. I was always riding my bike. I was a bike nut even back then. And then, then I, you know, eventually I had that 10-speed bike where the fork, or not the fork, the front tire, the spokes caved in on it. My dad went and yelled at the sales guy, and the sales guy got me another bike. I rode that around, and then got married, and then left that bike at home. We moved to San Diego. Told my wife I wanted to buy another bike. So we bought 2 bikes, one for her, one for me. Rode around Lake Miramar and San Diego. Then when we moved, I sold that bike. I sold it for like $10 per bike. Sold it to the guys who helped us load the truck so we could move back to Chicago area. Then when we were back in Chicago, I says, I want to get another bike. This is my history of bikes. Yeah, and then we bought I bought a giant mountain bike. Mrs. Wright got a, what'd you get? She got a, see now look, the brand just escapes me, right? Crazy. You guys probably know, I've told the story before. Oh, she got a Trek. See, this is my memory going. She got a Trek hybrid bike. She still has it. It's still in the basement. In fact, she has that. The Banksy, fake Banksy thing is still up on the wall. She still has that, and she has her original XWing Varsity. Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, I went and visited my friend over at Sam Cycle in our local area. He sells e-bikes. Yeah, so in his shop he had a XWing Continental. I always wanted a XWing Continental. You know, after I had that other bike, I said, yeah, I would like to get something like that. I've never got one, of course. I never had any money. And my dad says, you already got a bike. What do you need another one for? Sounds like Mrs. Wright. So, the giant mountain bike, as you know, was the bike that I was hoping to get back on. You know, when my knees started messing up, I had to stop riding. And I said that I would one day go back, ride my bike on the trail, but never did. Because when I bought the e-bike, I kind of figured there's no way I'm going to continue on a regular bike. So that's when I bought the first Rad power bikes, Rad Rover 5, and then the rest is history. From that point on, it's been review bike after review bike. So thank you to all you guys. I think if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be getting all these e-bikes to review, because manufacturers take note, you know. And so we've gone through a number of bikes, and there's still a lot of bikes in my living room and everywhere else. So yeah, I had some bikes up for sale. A couple of them sold. There's a There's a woman that I met when we sold the Engwe E26. His sister is going to be buying my Deer 20, yeah, the yellow bike. She's going to pick that up tonight. And then the electric bike company Moto S, the beach cruiser, has been sold, folks. Oh man, I'm sure many of you guys are disappointed in hearing that. I'm disappointed too, but Mrs. Wright says, get that bike out of here. It's been sitting in our dining room, taking up all the space. Yeah, we just kind of slid it between where the openings were, behind the chairs and everything. She says, get that thing out of here. She says, you don't ride it that much. I had about 200 miles on it. It really didn't have that much on it. And she says, you know, that thing is just big. It is. I mean, if you look at the handlebars, you know, beach cruiser, come on, it sticks way out. It's a tall, heavy bike, double batteries. So who bought it? Well, it was another electric bike company dealer. Yeah, he's a dealer of the bikes. He does that, and he does conversion vans too. So he sells the electric bike company products, and then he also does custom conversion vans of Mercedes Sprinters. Yeah, I was shocked when he pulled up. I mean, I immediately knew it was him when he pulled up, because a Sprinter van's pretty tall, right? And that was the nicest van I've ever seen in my life. Oh man, the interior of that thing was unbelievable. And he had space designed for bikes. Yeah. He had a ramp that ramped up right into it. You roll it right in, and then you back the back wheel into this thing that holds the wheels up, and then you move the front wheel into the other area, and it holds up the bike. I was impressed. I was like, wow, this is the best van I've ever seen in my life. Not inexpensive, let me say that. But that's his clientele. So what's going to happen with my bike? Well, he has a Model Y, he told me. And he wanted to buy my Model S to use as a demo bike. So when people are interested in the bike, he has a bike for them to try. So they're going to actually be riding the Russ is Right model. So thank you to him and his wife coming out to pick up the bike. He doesn't live all that far from this area. And so, yeah, he'll be able to tell people, you are riding the Russ is Right customized electric bike company bike. There you go. So at least it's going to be used for good purpose. Yeah. Anyways, that's about all I have for you guys for today. It's so windy, I think it's time to get out of here and head home. Anyways, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. More videos to come. More rides on the wired cruiser for sure. I'll talk to you guys next time.